Hello Pisces, welcome to your November 2020 reading. Even though I do know we're kind of far into November, but this is what you can expect the rest of the month, and it's interesting. For some reason with your sign, you guys really drain me, and it's always been consistently you. Scorpio, that happened to me for the first time in a while, but I feel like it's like Scorpio's outside forces that were draining me and not necessarily them. For you guys, it's normally like your energy that kind of depletes me a little, and not to say that in a bad way. I just feel like you all feel things really intensely. So when I pull cards for you, it's kind of like a lot of interpretation that I need to go into because I really feel like your perception of reality is really intense, and I just need to like look at all angles when I do your readings, which is not a bad thing at all. Y'all are Neptune influence, so Neptune is kind of murky and an illusion. So, and getting into that, I think that that's what your month is going to be about. I do see some pain. I do see some stagnation. I do see almost like you're scared to fully leave a situation, and you're also scared to really be on your own for some reason. um I also do want you to be careful with drinking, with drugs this month. And I say that respectfully because I have Neptune in my 12th house. 12th house is like, the house of that kind of thing, of addictions and mental illness. So I have to be careful with that myself. I've had some near, collisions with addiction. So I do see that coming up for you this month, but more so because you are dealing with something that really kind of set you back or really hurt you, and you're trying to cope with it. We did get the devil in reverse at the bottom of one of my decks. As you can see, it's the word vice there. Um, and I do feel like in the upright position, you're cognizant of the fact that you kind of have a tie to these vices, but in the reverse, it's just unaware. Or you think you have more of a hold on your addictions than you actually do. And I don't mean to say you have a full blown addiction, I just do see a lot of indications of troublesome coping methods that you have going on. Per usual, it's been a while since I've done my videos, but I do always like to give a heads up when I do see third party energy here because that seems to trigger a lot of people, even though there's so many readings about that on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie, I do see that pretty heavily, and I saw it almost immediately when I started pulling cards for you. There's really nothing else I can interpret the cards as, the ones that came up, because I got the lovers, I got the three of cups, I got the tower, I got the seven of cups, I got two different queens come up. So regardless of gender, I do feel like there is some third party energy. Um, and I'm not that kind of reader that says, oh, I apologize, my button. I'm not that reader that kind of says, oh, it could be an outside influence, it could be work, blah, blah, blah. I really don't consider work a third party. I really don't consider family necessarily a third party either. Third party to me is strictly someone romantically on the side, or involved in the relationship in a way they shouldn't be. It doesn't mean that they're full on having an affair, but with all these cups card here, I do feel like there are emotions into play here. So that being said, I did give my disclaimer. I do always like to give a heads up, especially if you know for sure 100% that your relationship is solid. I don't want that energy attached to you. I don't want that little inkling in your mind off of my reading. So I always like to just give a heads up. After this, I will be filming your extended on my Patreon. Scorpio from last night is already up, and I'm going to try to finish my water signs this weekend. So as soon as you leave here and you want to know more about your relationship, if you're married, long term, single, and looking, all of that and on a wider scale will be on my Patreon after we get done here. So, per usual, I'm going to let you all see the camera. My cards, I'm sorry, because it is a lot. I'll just move this big old deck out the way. So to start, we got the Two of Wands, and then we also got the Four of Wands to clarify, which is pretty interesting. We got two Wands cards right off the bat. So already, this relationship, it was probably something you really, really wanted. This person could have possibly checked off all the boxes for you. They really made you think that this could be a forever thing, or as close to forever as possible. Let's just say that. Outwardly things probably looked great, but it was missing that component. And whatever that missing component was, that's probably what made you take a second look. That's also another thing that I should have mentioned while we were doing our face to face. Um, yeah, we know that Pisces, they're a very psychic sign. I will say y'all are probably one of the top uh, zodiac placements that kind of indicate psychic ability. Of course, other placements and transits play a factor too. Not to say if you're not a Pisces, you don't have that ability. But y'all, this month, that really comes into play. But it's almost a negative because I think your intuition is a bit skewed by something. And that's also why I mentioned staying away from substances because that might be true. That also could affect your psychic abilities too. The Seven of Cups came up a bit later, so that's just something I wanted to throw out there too before we start. So it is possible, also that one or both of you were sick or diagnosed with something. I don't know why that came to me intuitively while I was pulling cards. Especially since the Two of Wands can indicate a physical illness or some kind of physical suffering. And by the way, I read cards kind of old school, so sometimes my definitions aren't coinciding with a lot of other readers you see here. So yeah, basically something happened. Because otherwise, outwardly, especially if you have a family and you have a home life, y'all on the outside look to be an ideal. Children too, they were coming up with some really beautiful energy for some reason. Like your children, if you have a big family or you have a family in general with someone, your children are definitely coming up as okay. But it's just the parental unit that or long-term relationship, whatever situation you're in, that's coming up as something that's not what it seems because you got a lot of cards with the moon here, the lovers, the tower, a lot of just things coming to the surface or things coming to a head. Either way, whoever is watching this, if you're Pisces placements, again, I don't do cross watchers. This is for Pisces and Pisces alone. But either way, my Pisces placements, you are coming up as the piece that holds everything together. And I do think at some point there's some kind of lag, there's some kind of setback that probably caused you to look at the cracks. Something really triggered you because yeah, you might have been blinded by something, but I think that blindness came more out of you just being satisfied home life wise or satisfied in the relationship. I think whoever you're with gave you everything you wanted in a physical or financial sense. They probably even gave you everything emotionally, but there was just something that was missing. And I think deep down when you don't have someone's full attention, and despite everything being perfect, I think at that point that's when it's a physical decision as to whether or not you want to look into why that is. And obviously with this Tower card and this Eight of Pentacles, I do see some of you did decide to take that route and look into what's going on. What am I not seeing, or what am I trying not to see, or what haven't I seen? And then from there, it's like an immediate earthquake here with this Tower card. This is like a complete destruction of a foundation, and whatever way of life you're in now, the Tower coming up means that that's gone, and it's most likely not coming back. Or if you rebuild it, it's going to look very different. So some investigation with this Eight of Coins or the Eight of Pentacles is definitely behind this. Because we have the Eight of Pentacles here. We also have the Four of Cups all the way at the bottom. Both those cards can signal investigation. The Four of Cups is an exposure. Usually it's someone else exposing you, but I do feel like you could have even have gotten it in your head to like hire someone or just seek help from friends to kind of keep an eye out on your person. And I think from there you find out something that causes Tower moment. Um, to be honest, there are themes of love for money here, meaning someone who's being sponsored in this equation. There's even the energy of wanting to stay together to keep your finances intact. it can even be that you found out about infidelity randomly through a purchase or looking through so and so's bank account. Money is definitely involved in some way in this. uh, and from there comes the ending, from there comes the conflict. And I think it's just a question of the fact that you can come to this person with literal receipts, and then it just shocks them, because they thought, hey, I'm giving Pisces XYZ. There's no reason for him or her to even look into me. She or he is so satisfied. And I think when you do come to them with actual proof, it's not even the proof that shocks them, but the fact that you took it upon yourself to kind of look into them. This could also be someone that's not used to being questioned, that's not used to, not getting what they want. And only because, again, they're willing to just make sure you're happy on other fronts. So they think you have no reason to kind of look into things. But yeah, I think eights are definitely significant to you here, because we had this Eight of Pentacles, and then we had this Eight of Cups. I'm sorry, this Eight of Cups right after that. And then while I was typing up your reading, and kind of hit me that, hey, there are two eights here. I look at the clock and it's 8:08. So we really have four eights in this little scenario. And eights coming up like that in a tarot reading really means that you are just solely focused on improving your life. I don't think it's a coincidence that all these eights show up around the tower, because the only reason, or a lot of the times, a lot of the times when you're called to improve upon something, it's because you're cognizant of the fact that things are kind of messed up, or things are not working. And tower moments, of course, are good for that. So even literally, we can take the number 8 as being significant. So we can look at the month of August. We can look at a year ending in 8, 2018, 2008, or something significant behind that number. Even taking an actual day. So just let me know if anything surrounding that actually turned up, because it's really rare that happens to me. And I'm not someone that pays attention to quote unquote angel numbers like that. So when I notice it, I know it's a sign. And moving on from that, we do have the Eight of Cups and the Ace of Swords coming out together. So I do. Oh, I'm sorry again. My throat is so dry because I've been filming all day. But these two cards, it obviously is very much a possibility of you cutting ties, of you walking away, of you asserting boundaries, because that is definitely what the Ace of Swords can be. Is like, hey, taking that knife and drawing a line, and letting someone know that this is not going to work. It's also verbally letting someone know that as well. Um, and of course, this Eight of Cups is, as you can see, someone walking away. But I do feel like you're doing it from a place of self-love and wanting to improve your life. That's a storyline I get for a group of you. There obviously is going to be pain, but I think the overall need for a better life right now conquers missing them or regret that it didn't work out. Which is again, it's obviously going to be there, but I don't think you're making decisions or moving from a place of the hope that one day you two will be able to work things out. I think this Ace of Swords kind of tells me that betrayal was the last betrayal for some of you, and you are just not going to give this person another chance. That being said, I do feel like these two cards also kind of indicates a second group. Yeah, on the flip side, I do see some of you actually trying to make it work and staying, but you're staying because, again, this person afforded you a life that was really great. They afforded you the idea or some kind of semblance of a family life. If you have family or if you have kids with them, you kind of are thinking about your kids and their quality of life, and making sure you keep a unit there. But I do see again with this Ace of Swords that you're making decisions from a purely logical standpoint. So even if it's something that other people may not understand, they fully expect you to walk away, or they're judging you. I think you're just so, either way, either storyline that applies to you, I think you're making a decision based solely on logic. Like, you can be distraught over the betrayal, you can be really, really sad. I don't think you're deciding to stay or go based on your feelings right now. And I do almost want to say that I love that this card is Saturn in Scorpio. One, because we have this big Scorpio new moon coming up on the 15th. But it also means doing things for a greater good while there are many other factors beneath the surface, because Scorpio is the taboo, the hidden 8th house energy, things that people can't see or people don't want to discuss out loud. So I think, people, want to be able to judge you for whatever choices you make, but they just aren't in your shoes, and they probably wouldn't be able to handle it if they were in your shoes. And I think you know that, so you're just doing what's best for you right now. And I do feel like regardless, you're going to be making that choice in clarity. Like I said, it's not going to be something super dramatic or just you self-pitying. It's really, really strategic, which is good. Now here's where I feel like some of you, and this is why I mentioned there are kind of two scenarios for me. I do feel like here is where I do feel like some of you might have decided to stay in this situation, because this person is giving you a really luxurious lifestyle. This Three of Cups here, it's a Venus energy for me, even though it's a water sign. Indicator. But there's a lot of good times here. There's a lot of freedom. There's a lot of, just carefree energy with this Three of Cups. So I think, in, kind of separating from your person, despite how dirty they did you, you're kind of going to be resigned to living a lot harder in a way. Like it won't be worse. It just won't be as easy. I also feel like with the Lovers card here, because I don't know if you can see it, the light is glaring, but the Lovers card coming up with the Three of Cups is obviously third party. The Lovers is an affair, it's temptation, it's hiding a clandestine, like little, rendezvous with people that you're not with. Mixed with the Three of Cups is just, it's really like shady energy here. I do feel like regardless, they're playing on your emotions and they're counting on you being sentimental when it comes to them, despite how much you know about their indiscretions. These can also be your friends and family helping you through this betrayal, but regardless, I do believe that is definitely a third party that refuses to leave the picture. Especially since I have the Queen of Cups here, which is obviously you Pisces, and then we got the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. And the Queen of Pentacles in an unevolved version, not to say all Earth sign women or women that come up as a Queen of Pentacles is like this, but it can be an indicator of someone that is being taken care of financially, someone that is, being sponsored, being kept, etc. So I do think that both of you are getting this from this person, and I think almost you stayed because, yeah, it sucked what this person did, but if I remove emotions and I don't trust this person anymore, I can still live the kind of life that they afforded me. I just know who they are. And I think that is kind of where some of you may be at here. I'm also between the Lovers and the Moon, because the Moon came out right after it. There's a lot of deceit, but there's also a lot of psychic realizations. So some of you are probably gifted, like I said, with Pisces energy, but most of y'all just have a heightened intuition. So I think intuitively you know that this other third person, they're not going anywhere, they haven't gone anywhere, despite whatever promises your person is making to you. You're just learning, you just are resigned to live with this because everything else is so good. If that makes sense. And again, that's if it resonates, because I did get the sense that some of you really did walk away. If you did walk away, I don't think your person just let you walk. I do feel like they're going to try to come in at some point if they haven't already. For that, it could be both, where, initially you walked away, they came back, pursued you pretty heavy, and you just were resigned to keeping them around because they did provide you with something, despite, the emotional betrayal. So moving forward, we got the Seven of Cups and we've got the Moon card. And that really makes me think that you lose that clarity that you had with this Ace of Swords here. And you probably lose it because you're spending more time with this person again. So, like I said, others may have already been dating after you left, but then now this ex-person is probably one of your options because they're trying to get back in the picture. Whoever this person is, I really am picking up that they can offer you things, that that they're trying to trap you by, kind of dangling financial gifts or dangling just security that you worry about having. And they know how to tempt you. They just have this emotional hold on you. And I really want you all to watch your surroundings with this moon card, because the moon just means things are not what they seem. There really is someone trapping you, though. As you can see with this guy, he's covering his eyes, and he's just being, in theory, this card is about fantasies. It's not necessarily an offering. This is just what is available to him. For you guys, I'm reading it as these are actually what's being offered as long as you stay with this person. And I think your person is using that as a way to keep you attached to them. But regardless, with this moon here, y'all, I'm so sorry. Y'all really have some psychic energy going on. But at the same time, I don't know why you're coming off as naive one minute and then really ruthless the next. It could just be the confusion that you're feeling. It could be just you're battling your gut and your self-respect, but then also battling wanting to be comfortable and not wanting to give in so quickly to this third person. It's not even a competition. It's just you're resigned to the fact that, hey, this person I'm with, this is who they are. There's always going to be other people, so I may as well just try to tough it out until I can find someone I really can trust. And that's what I get with that Seven of Cups too. Y'all are really in a point where, all right, if my person's gonna look around, I should look around too and leave my options open as well. That is also why I'm saying be careful with that, because especially with this Devil in reverse here, I really don't want anything to backfire on you, because especially with this Four of Pentacles coming up, this person, while they may be doing their dirt, they also can be very possessive. This is Capricorn energy as well as that Devil, so we got two Capricorns coming up. I'm not making generalizations of all Capricorns, but they are known to keep things close to them. Tauruses too, we like our belongings. I'm a Taurus moon. So if you are exploring our options, well, allowing this person to have space in your life, just be careful, because I do see something going a bit left once they find out that you're also dating around as well. That being said, I do just want to reiterate, but especially with the Seven of Cups and this Moon card coming out together, this is like screaming out about drinking and drugs, etc. And I know I mentioned that, but we've got the Moon, we've got the Devil in reverse, we've got the Seven of Cups, the Three of Cups, the Four of Cups, and the Moon here. So all of that warns of addiction and partying in excess with that Three of Cups. The Seven of Cups more so speaks to the results of that, to the confusion that lies around doing that, to the extent where, you're physically impairing yourself in your decision making. So I really want to be careful, or I want you to be careful about your coping mechanisms this month. And again, it obviously doesn't apply to everyone, but if deep down innately you know that you have that potential to kind of go a little haywire with that stuff, just this is not the month to try it. I think we have an eclipse too after this new moon, so really be careful, because if you're as psychic as you're coming up here, which you're coming up as very, very psychic, that stuff affects us in a different way, than people that aren't in touch with their gifts. Personally, I believe that we all have gifts. We use them in different ways. They're shown to us in different ways. And I think, yeah, if you're someone I feel like obviously has been cognizant of the fact that you probably are a bit more psychic than the people around you. So just, you might not be able to go out and drink at the level of your friends or your lovers or your family, because it's just going to hit you a little bit harder or differently. That being said, here another one that's coming up as someone with untapped potential or untapped talents. I had that discussion in the Scorpio video yesterday. I do feel like you're very artistic as well. So you might be avoiding it because initially it might be very, very boring with this Nine of Pentacles. But the day-to-day is necessary in order to grow your skills, because this is also about studying and picking up a hobby. If you see that wrench there she has in her mouth. Yeah, like I said, you're probably avoiding it because it feels boring, but it's also necessary. And it's necessary for you to succeed with this Four of Coins here. The Eight of Pentacles, like I said, speaks to that too. But it's funny because you're right in the middle of a financial struggle, because right here we had the Four of Pentacles, and then right next to it we had the Five, and in the middle of that was this Knight. So I think you being in the axes of financial success and then financial struggle, the only deciding factor in that is the work that you're willing to put in and what your hobbies are, or your habits are day to day. That's another reason too, with possible drinking and substance abuse. You really don't want to tamper with your gifts. You don't want to miss out on opportunities, because to end of the spread, you got the Four of Cups, which is possible missed opportunities here. Um, yeah, I do feel like what you decide to do or what you decide to not do will have a direct consequence on your bank account, as does your surroundings, as does your choice for friends, lovers, etc. So I'm not also sure if you're lending money out or partying, but you're really being cautioned to make a change there to improve not only your health, but also your finances. Because I just get the feeling like you're around people that are just things are a bit easier for them. Their station in life is a lot easier. It could be because of money. It could be because they just have people taking care of them, friends, family, etc. I think you're someone that didn't grow up, or you're not currently in that space, so you really can't act the way that they act. Not to say you're trying, but it could even be that they just don't get why you have to go home early, or why you can't drink as much, etc. To move on though, I do want to warn you not to fear being lonely. I do want to warn you about kind of looking at the negative side of things, because I do get the sense with these two cards that you're worried about never finding genuine love, or that you're not worthy of what you desire. And that can also be a factor in why you decided to stay with someone that's just not giving you the full package, and you're okay settling for getting XYZ but not this. I do. There's a lot of things of feminine energy here, and feminine energy coming from yourself, regardless of gender, but also coming from just people on the outside that want to help you. It could be friends, family, but even ancestors. But they're helping you while they're waiting for you to center yourself with these two cards here. It could be that they're just on the sidelines doing little things here and there, just waiting for you to come back to yourself. They're giving you all the time and space you need. They're not trying to push their decisions on you, but they know that you deserve better, and they're just waiting for you to kind of see that. I think whatever you lose in money, whatever you lose in status, you're gonna make up for it in self-respect. You're gonna make up for it in love. And you're going to make up for it in having a lot more genuine people around you, because I do see that they are already there. They're just waiting for you. It will be an adjustment, obviously, especially if you were used to a certain lifestyle, but that adjustment is almost an improvement once you really cleanse that energy of your past. You really don't want to be in a connection where you're always looking over your shoulder and hoping that there's just not always some third party. For me personally, if I'm with someone and yeah, they're taking care of me, but they're also taking care of God knows who else, it's not the same to me, and it's really not worth it. So again, it's if it resonates, just know that's kind of my message to you. And then the last two cards of your spread was Death in Reverse and also Four of Cups. So a lot of Scorpio energy here too. You're coming up, a lot of Earth sign energy as well is pretty prominent here, Capricorn in particular. I think you will get a lot of opportunities almost thrust on you at some point, especially toward the end of the month, obviously. But with this Death card in reverse, I worry that you might try to avoid it or to stall. I think life looks so different to you right now that you almost automatically assume that it's worse, when that's really not the case. For those still dealing with the third party situation, I do see that needing to be handled, especially before it comes to the head at the end of the month, because her showing up at the end of at the bottom of the deck, this Queen of Pentacles, it is a bit worrisome, because I worry, that drama could be brought to you even if you're trying to avoid it. I do feel like at the end of the month, you could still be allowing this person a second chance with this death in reverse when you really just need to be completely rid of them. For some reason, you might not like who you are without them, or you have this fear of just not being with someone in general, and I want you to get rid of that because you're kind of you're you're causing yourself more harm than good, and I know your intentions are just to feel good. I think that's what your message is this month, is just watch what you do in order to feel good, basically, because some of it can go a little awry. So let's pull some cards. We do have that new moon coming up, so I want to see what y'all have in store with that energy tomorrow. There's a deck in particular I want to pull from. Two in particular, actually. I feel like Scorpio's reading yesterday was predominantly just like spirituality and money showed up a lot. So I ended up having to like really do a love-based reading for the Patreon. But y'all have like mostly all love here. A tiny bit of money too. So let's find out. Oh, established came out. Family, triumph, security. I can tell security is a pretty big thing for you right now. Just your idea of what a happy home is really key for you, especially if you have a family. And sidetrack, delays, distractions, change. That really spoke to me about your gifts that you're not using or the work that you're scared to put in. Just don't allow yourself to be delayed or distracted by having a good time because like Scorpio, I kind of told them yesterday, I do feel like there's something you need to be doing. There's something you're being called to, but it's just either not your cup of tea or you just are not ready for it yet. That may come to a head as well this month because this is a very karmic month as well. Let's see, I have one more deck I want to pull from. So we're already at 31 minutes. Ooh, okay. Bring love into the situation. New moon into Aquarius. I love that because you did come up as the Queen of Cups, and she's she's like an open. Her heart is just on her sleeve. She just has it in her hands to give to everyone that comes across her, but she doesn't have enough for herself. And of course, that's the unevolved version. That's her when she's struggling, and every court card has that. So I'm not just saying that is all whenever she shows up, that's what that means. But I do feel like this is specifying self-love in your case, and you really need to bring more of that. Like I said, one minute you're very naive and very just resigned to going with the flow, and then the next you're extremely ruthless and very detached. So I think you need to find that balance, and you probably can do it by showing yourself more love. And I also love that distractions came up because I think you are trying to do that in order to kind of get yourself in a clearer space, and you think, well, I can make myself happy by going out with friends and spending money or going shopping. When in reality, I think you need to sit with yourself for a bit. And I know it's hard. Quarantine has really been kicking my butt, like staying home like this. But it can be a good thing for me. That's what started my shadow work journey. It's definitely not all rainbows and unicorns, but it's necessary. So I will leave that there for you. I'm actually gonna go ahead and film your extended now. That extended is going to be 18 plus because, like Scorpio, it does have a sexual reading as well. It's going to be for my singles, those in long-term relationships slash married, and those who are also looking for love and getting out of a relationship as well. So we're gonna pull some cards for all of those scenarios. Until then, I'll try to make another video by the end of this month, and I'll be making more on my Patreon too, so the link to all of that is in the description box. So stay happy, stay safe, bye.